And we're back in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, this is David.
And this is Michael, and we're back!
And broke.
And with lots of new toys. David, what have we been up to since in the last 6 months?
Well,
besides me getting a cold.
Well, we've been on a bit of a buying spree, so
I've noticed.
We're going to do something a little bit different than we usually do in our other videos. So instead of doing a video on one gun, we're going to be doing more of like an overview of the guns we've been getting. Then in the future, we'll be doing in-depth videos on what we've been getting. Yeah,
just because there's so much to show. If we were to do in-depth reviews on everything we have right now, we'd be here for about the next 4 hours. So we're going to try to make this a little bit stronger and concise. Starting with rifles, you have something new there. What is this?
Alright, so this is something that's been on my list for a while. And what we have here is it's going to be an Enfield No. 1 Mark III. This one is an SMLE. This one was made by a company called BSA, and this was put into service in Canada.
Nice.
And this one was actually made, at the tail end of World War II. This was made in 1918, and like I said, it was used by the Canadians, at least for this one right here.
And then, so that's good. We have an Enfield. Now, as you know, we're no stranger to Mosin guns. This is another one of his, but while he's holding that, why don't you tell me what I found sitting down here?
Well, what you found is going to be a Finnish M39, which by a lot of collectors is renowned to be the Cadillac of Mosin guns.
Which you've now, this is number, what, 4 for you?
Three or four.
3 or 4, and all have gone, and this is the 4th one to come back to us.
That's the 4th M39.
Is this one going to stay for a little while this time, maybe?
It's the nicest one, so I think so.
Now, we don't have any footage of this one firing, or the Enfield, because,
they're so
frankly, these things, they literally came in, what, a couple weeks ago? We haven't had a chance to go out for rifles in a little while. But this is very nice. Can I show you what I got?
Sure.
Please? Okay, you take that, go put it somewhere. What I got is one of these. The successor to the Mosin Nagant. This is an SKS. Although not a Russian one, if I'm honest.
No. Nothing wrong with that.
It's a Chinese. It's a Type 56. Very nice rifle. And actually, dead on accurate, as I found out with this thing. I've actually fired this thing quite a number of times. The thing is dead accurate, and I love this thing to death. I don't know exactly what year this one in particular was made. It's definitely, I know it's at least a curio relic. It's over 50 years old, but judging by the fact that it has a 7 million serial number.
And I think there was something like 20 million made through the Chinese, so I would say
this is still fairly early. Yeah.
It's got to be in the 60s at least.
Yeah. But good rifle. I do love this thing. Speaking of rifles, this one, I'll be honest, I got from him. And we've kind of mentioned it before, very briefly, was a Marlin M39A.
Golden
39A. Which is, frankly, is heralded as one of the best lever guns ever made, and is also the longest running production lever action.
That's true.
On the market. It's still being sold, I believe. Which is absolutely redonkulous. They started making the original 39s back in, I think the late 1800s, and it's continued production. That beats out the 1911 for production year.
To put that into perspective.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I love this thing. Now, we did mention that before this thing got a little bit of a Bubba job to it. It's been repaired. There are a couple of nicks still.
It has a couple scars.
It has scars from its past life. Good. Ow, I just stabbed myself with the rear sight. Right. Moving along.
So we're going to be moving on to pistols. Since we did oldest to newest with rifles, we're going to be doing pistols now.
Yeah, big thing that did happen in the last 6 months. Both of us turned 21.
So
rather than going out and getting drunk, we got guns. What can we say?
A lot of you will know what this is just by looking at the holster. And
is it a chicken?
Actually, no.
Is it a piece of bread?
It might be.
Is it a pistol?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people, when they buy, when they turn 21, they buy a decent handgun. I decided to go all out.
Or you know.
Yeah.
You just started crazy.
I started out crazy, so instead of buying a Glock or a Beretta or a 1911 like you did, I went out and bought myself a numbers matching German Luger.
I can't believe you actually bought that for your first pistol buy.
Yeah.
You're slightly insane, you know that, right?
Yeah, and I'm never getting rid of this.
Well, unless someone made you a very nice offer on it, which probably...
Even then...
Maybe not. Right, my turn. We're going to go a little bit out of order. We're going to go with... For pistols, we're going to go for design aspect. So, as we know, in 1908, that thing went into German... was adopted by the German military. But as we all know, in 1911, this little baby was adopted into U.S. Military adoption. And to be honest...
It beat out the Luger in the trials.
Yeah, actually, there's an interesting story about that. The reason why Luger pulled out is because he didn't want to actually have a full production line just for 45 Lugers. So he pulled out of it just so he can go back to making 9 mils. I can't blame him for that.
No, I can't.
You can have that back. This is a Rock Island Armory GI spec 1911 with the plastic 1960s-ish GI grips. Mm-hmm. Absolutely love this thing. It does have one little problem with it, and that's with its mags. True to a 1911, it is picky with its mags, as I've discovered. I've had 4 so far, and 2 of them have failed.
Yeah, with certain guns, they don't like the mags, or with these, they're picky with their ammo, so...
That and its little brother. Not its little... Actually, sort of its little brother, but also it's its son, I would actually
its son,
call.
Yeah. So since we're talking about the P08 Luger...
Well, World War I, World War II in general.
This was phased out in roughly 1942. That was the last year of productions. And it was actually replaced by the Walther P38. Now this one was made actually by Walther. And this one is made in 1942, and as true with the Luger here, both are numbers match.
Out of curiosity, are you planning on buying anything from this, century? Or millennia?
Not sure.
Not sure yet.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So... Like I said, this is what replaced the Luger, and I can see why. I can see that's more reliable, but the Luger just has a lot more
it is aesthetic. A certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, and it's a lot more comfortable to one hand, and
which is
it's not so mushy.
Yeah,
and these things have
not a bad pistol. That
no, not by any means.
Now, next one on my little shopping list. I am a huge fan of 22. 22 is a beautiful caliber for me. You saw this at the beginning of the video. I bought myself a Heritage Rough Rider. Absolutely fantastic little pistol. I got to fire it for the first time today. We went out to a local gun range that only does handguns. That's why the rifles didn't go. But I got to fire this today, and my goodness, I love it to death already. It's single action, just like an old cowboy gun. Actually, it has almost the weight of a proper one, too. This thing's heavy for what it is. And it is just fantastic. This one also had a small little issue. I bought this thing also with its 22 Magnum cylinder, which I don't have with me here. I left it in the other room in the safe. The problem I had with it was ejecting the 22 mags cases. It would get a little gummy. They came out eventually, but they were a little bit problematic. So I'm not doing too well, am I? Last 2, and
2 for 2.
I'm 2 for 2 for the small malfunctions. Speaking of small malfunctions, shall we see the next thing on your little thing?
Yeah, so another holster, which some people would know exactly what it is, or
is that one a chicken
or not? So this one it's got to be one of my favorites now, just for how long I've been wanting one. So a lot of people like to buy the Tokarevs, and with this one, I actually bought 2. And so a lot of people, they'll buy the remaining Tokarevs for $200 from J&G or AIM Surplus or Classic Firearms. I actually bought a Russian TT-33, which is the actual Russian,
the proper one,
the proper model.
It's like basically what he's saying by remakes is basically a remake of like a Yugoslavian or Romanian whatnot. It's kind of like what this thing is. This thing is not a World War II perfect copy of it. Mm-mm. It is modernized to a certain extent, but still a good little pistol. Now, you did buy that one. Do you want to show them the other one?
Purist, avert your eyes.
Bubba has struck again for this one. Come on.
A lot of us, when we collect military surplus handguns and rifles, there's a term that gets thrown around that a lot of people affectionately like to call Bubba, which is where somebody either buys a military surplus rifle and they modify it to where it can't be restored. This one, I would say it is still permanently modified, but it can still be made to look better. And
ladies and gentlemen, we have Deadpool, or at least his gun.
Yeah, it's also a Russian-made TT-33
from 1940 what?
47. So this one's going to be it's a post-war, just like this one right here. Both are made by the AGS Arsenal. This one is from 1952, the last year they made them, and this one was from 1947. And I don't know what he was smoking when he decided to modify this. So what he did was
smoking everything.
He milled off the lanyard loop. He coated this red, coated this black, and he milled off the serrations.
The one thing I will say with what he did, when he did take off the lanyard loop, he didn't make it look bad.
No.
To certain extents.
I mean, it's supposed to look like that with the lanyard loop on the frame. And I don't know exactly why it got removed, but it did.
He was smoking everything. We've discussed this.
Yeah.
But it's not completely irreversible. I mean, the lanyard loop, that's gone forever.
Yeah, the serrations on the slide, those are gone. We can't do anything about that, but we've been talking about it. We're thinking of doing a full reblue job, so that way it looks, at least semi-proper, like how this one right here does.
All right, and that's pretty much everything we've done in the last 6 months. And we aren't really showing. You're kind of showing signs of stopping just because you bought everything in your wish list.
Immediate list, yeah.
I still have a small wish list to go through. So there are going to be more things coming up, but for now we have tons of stuff it looks like to do some reviews on.
And those will be coming out, like we said, in the next few weeks, and then up until the next couple months.
Hopefully, the next time we do a video, I'm not going to be having this wonderful cold that makes me sound like I have 45 ACP shoved up my nose. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit. Sorry, I got that wrong.
And make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see any of our future videos, and
hit the like button if you enjoyed.
And as always, if you want to leave us a comment, let us know if there's something we could have touched on, something you want to see in the future.
Questions on anything.
I'm more than happy to get back to you.
Yeah. But thank you very much for now. This is Michael.
And this is David.
Good night.
As he hacks
left lung, please.